Welcome to the Mind Over Money podcast with Jessen James.
In this video, you're going to learn how to become more confident. Now, what do I mean by that? Look, my name is Jessen James. I'm a former psychiatric nurse. Let me get stuck into this video. Look, why should you listen to me on this? We live in a world where I genuinely believe more people can be happier if they enhance their confidence. Now, if you've landed on this video, clearly you're either searching for how to become more confident or you came across it because you're interested in it somehow. All right. Now, why would you be searching for that? Because my guess is you would like to appear more confident in at least one area of your life, whether that's in sales, in your business, in your career, in your current relationship. I don't know. Maybe it's in a current sport or hobby. I don't know. Maybe you want to just feel more confident in yourself so that it elevates your mental well-being as well. Maybe you're sick and tired of being walked all over all the time and you want people to start taking you seriously and you want your voice to be heard. Whatever your reason, welcome. However, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to debunk this myth of confidence once and for all. Because I believe, especially as a former psychiatric nurse, that it is plaguing society right now, especially with young people in schools as well. Young people nowadays, for some reason, their confidence is being knocked. And the reason for that is very, very simple. There are more channels available to knock their confidence, specifically online. Social media is one of the things. Now, look, social media is both a blessing and a curse, right? It's a blessing and a curse. Why? Because it's such an incredible resource for us to be able to learn new things and reach out to new people. But at the same time, it can be used to create negative impact. Why do the young people these days, why are they like getting less and less confident? Because there's this comparison mentality going on. They're seeing all these influencers online and other people online looking a certain way, dressing a certain way, showing up in a certain way, living a certain way. And then they compare themselves to that person and go, oh my God, I'm nowhere near that. And before you know it, comparison is going off and they start to affect their confidence. So unless I look like that, live like that, own what they have, show up how they show up, have beautiful glowing skin like they do, have a freaking six-pack or whatever it is, that means I'm no good. Therefore, their confidence level drops. The other reason why it affects them as well is because there's more and more unfortunately, there's more and more of this online bullying, this cyberbullying going on, where young people are bullying other young people. And it's sad and it's shocking. And I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want this channel to be about problems. I want it to be about solutions. But I'm just trying to heighten your awareness as to why I believe it's plaguing society. Now, chances are, depending on when you were born, maybe you experienced some of that as you transitioned into adulthood. And maybe you're noticing right now that as a result of not feeling very confident in certain things, it's affecting you in relationships. Maybe it's affecting you from finding love. I don't know. It's affecting you with relationships at work, professional ones. It's affecting you from communicating more effectively, speaking up about how you feel about stuff. Maybe it's affecting you in business. Maybe you're in business right now and you're finding it hard to actually ask people for the money when they want to buy from you. Maybe it's starting to affect you from standing up to customers who are complaining about stuff that isn't true. By the way, little side note, whoever invented customer is always right is wrong and needs a slap in the head, okay? The customer's not always right. You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes people just complain for silly stuff. So anyway, my point is I digress. Unless you're confident, you won't challenge people when they're wrong. Look, I run businesses and look, I am there to try and serve my clients as much as I can. There comes a point though where I draw the line and say, hey, you know what? No, I'm sorry, Mr. or Mrs. Client. You are not being very nice right now. And let me explain to you why you're wrong in this situation. And I will fight my corner. Why? Because I'm not here to be walked all over. Now, I wasn't always like that. And the reason I'm like that now is because I'm more confident in myself, that I know what I'm talking about, and I'm happy to have a healthy conversation or healthy conflict or a healthy debate with people all day long. Right? Now, you might be wondering, but how do you do that, Jessen? How are you more confident around women? How are you more confident around men? How are you more confident at work? How are you more confident when it comes to just living your daily life and going about your business? How are you more confident when you're on camera? How are you more confident when you're on stage? Well, let me break it down for you, my friends. It's got nothing, absolutely freaking nothing to do with confidence. What has it got to do with? Certainty. What do I mean by that? Look, I'm going to break it down for you. Just stick with me. If you want to elevate your levels of confidence, you must elevate your levels of certainty. Now, for a lot of people, let's talk about people in general who are just shy, not very confident about speaking or talking to others or whatever it is, or verbalizing their needs or whatever. Where's that actually stem from? It's got nothing to do with their ability to be confident. It's got everything to do with their self-worth, how they view themselves. That person, and maybe that's you right now, has forgotten how brilliant they are, has forgotten the value they bring to an equation, has forgotten that they matter too. Therefore, their level of certainty around who they are as a person is on the floor. So when your level of certainty is on the floor, how can your confidence be high? And all these people out there teaching you to become more confident, use this technique, do this, do that. Look, I'm not knocking them. They're trying to help, but they're wrong. And the reason they're wrong is very, very simple. They are missing the fundamental source of why someone is not appearing confident. We all have the ability to be confident. Let me explain. That same person whose self-worth is on the floor, if someone pushes them far enough and gets into an argument with them or backs them up into a corner, when they know they are right, eventually that person will snap. And you've seen it before. You've seen the most timid person go from 0 to 100 real quick, and they go, "Row!" Suddenly, their confidence level's up here. Why? Because they suddenly realize, I'm right, you're wrong. And they start fighting their corner. Is it making sense? They get to the point where they don't tolerate it anymore, and their confidence level flicks like a switch. Suddenly they're confident. You see this happening in relationships all the time. One of the other partners is suppressing the other one. The other one's always timid and shy. They're not very confident. The other one's a bit more dominant, a bit more confident, a bit more whatever, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, the less dominant person snaps. You ever had that happen before, where you have enough? Enough is enough. And then you see that most timid person go from 0 to 100 when it comes to confidence, and they start speaking up for a change, speaking their mind, and standing up to that oppressor. You see it in school playgrounds all the time, where some kids have had enough and they just flip and they switch on the bully, and that bully cops the beating of their lifetime from a kid who was always very, very quiet and shy. What happened? It's got nothing to do with their level of confidence. It's got everything to do with the ability to tap into confidence when you need it. See where I'm going with this? So I'm the same. I'm a public speaker. I've spoken on stages all across the world. You can take me right now and pop me on stage in front of a stadium of 20,000 people, and I will smash the freaking presentation with no notes and no scripts and no presentation, and I'll do it all day long. I wasn't always like that. Now, where does that level of confidence come from? It's in my certainty that I know what I'm talking about. It's in my certainty, in my ability to be able to speak on demand. I am knowledgeable in so many different things, from psychology to influence to mental health to sales to marketing to business. You name it, I'm able to help other people with it. Why? Because I've been banking all of this knowledge over the years, and I've obviously got experience in it as well. Therefore, I am certain in my ability to go on stage at any given time or perform on video, right, like I'm doing right now, without any preparation or notes or scripts, and have certainty in my ability to share some information. Therefore, because I know I can do it, my confidence level naturally goes up. Now, contrary to popular belief, guess what? I am not the most confident person all day long. I'm not. I just have an innate ability to tap into my level of certainty whenever I need to in certain environments, in certain situations. Now, look, I'm human. You put me in a room full of rocket scientists when I have zero clue about rocket science, I'm naturally going to feel a little bit out of like a fish out of water. I'm not in the right environment here. What's going on? Temporarily, my confidence levels might not be too high. Why? Because I don't have the certainty that they do in order to talk about rocket science. So what do I do instead in that situation? I go back to my certainty of knowing that, hey, you're not meant to know rocket science because they've got freaking 24 degrees and you don't, right? And that's okay because I'm good with myself, because I'm knowledgeable in other areas. That same rocket scientist, if they tried to test me on public speaking, I would ruin them because I am great at it and they aren't. You catch my drift? Therefore, in order for you to elevate your self-worth, you have to remind yourself of the things that you are good at. Because everyone's very good at telling you what you're not good at. Everyone's very good at telling you what you need to be improving on and this and that and blah, 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 blah. But if you keep on listening to all this nonsense, you're going to forget who you are. And as they say, we spend so much time trying to figure out everybody else that we don't even know who we are anymore. Who are you? What are you great at? Every one of you watching this right now has got some gifts and some skills, even if you find it hard right now to believe that. Maybe you're a good listener. Maybe you're an empathetic person. Maybe you're nice to people. Maybe you're good at giving advice. Maybe what is it that's good about you? Because I promise you there's always something good about you. And when you can tap into that, you don't have to worry about other people. You see, most of the time when you're in a situation where you don't feel confident, it's usually external factors making you feel in a certain way. And that's because your perception is, I'm not good enough. I shouldn't be in this scenario. Oh my God, what's going to happen if someone asks me a question? And because of that, your self-worth is on the floor. And before you know it, your confidence level drops. So how do I survive personally? I'm giving you my advice right now. How do I survive in situations where I know I'm not actually the best person in the room? Very simple. I have certainty in my ability to figure stuff out if I need to, and I also have certainty in my ability to admit when I don't know something. I'll say that again. I have certainty in my ability to figure something out if I have to, and I also have absolute certainty in my ability to say that I don't know, because I'm okay with that. And the more you get to know that, hey, you're not meant to know everything. And no, you're not meant to be great at everything. And no, you're not meant to always look like this. Like all this Instagram crap that you see online, all these Instagram models and Instagram influencers. Do you actually think that's normal? Do you go outside, go for a walk down the high street, and tell me how many influencer-looking people you notice on the street. You won't see many of them. You'll see people trying to look like them, but you won't see many of them. Why? Because it's all makeup and freaking filters nowadays. It's all Botox and injections. It's all fake stuff. So how can you base your real life on fake people? Listen to what I'm saying to you. I'm only telling you this stuff because we've been beaten over the head so many times that we start to actually buy into that story. Your level of confidence is directly linked to the story that you're telling yourself right now. Whether that's you telling yourself before you go and do a talk or a presentation at work that you're not good enough and people aren't going to like you and they're going to look at you funny and you're going to forget your ways to your line, should I say, or you're going to go or maybe into a relationship and go, oh my God, that person's going to think I'm really ugly and blah, 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 blah. Look, you always tell yourself this narrative. So what can we learn from that? Change the narrative. If you're going to do a talk, well, how certain are you that you know your stuff? Tick, very, very certain. How do you know they're not going to like you? I don't. You don't know. So you start hallucinating about stuff that isn't really real. So what I'm trying to say is if you can hallucinate about things going wrong, can you hallucinate about them going right? Of course you can. It's a choice. It's a narrative. So change your story, you'll change your life. Change your story, you'll become more confident. Look, all of us have greatness inside of us. And we've just been beaten up along the way. And we forgot how great we are. Now, there's a saying in life. We are born strong, we learn to grow weak. I'll say that again. We are born strong, we learn to grow weak. Look, you're only born with two fears. The fear of falling. Have you ever had that dream when you were a kid and you jump in your sleep? Yeah, we're scared. The fear of falling is in us when we were born. The second one is the fear of loud noises. You go next to any baby and clap loud. Actually, maybe don't do that because the parent will absolutely kill you, right? No, but I'm true. You go next to a baby and clap, or there's a bang, or whatever it is. What does the baby naturally do? It jumps, okay? So what does that show you? We have two fears that we are born with. Fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. They are perfectly normal. They're perfectly normal. In fact, if you go back to the caveman era and all that kind of stuff when humans were first developing and all that kind of jazz, the reason why we were scared of noise is because anything that made a noise moved, and anything that moved could potentially be a predator looking to get us. Therefore, we ran from it. So it's in us to be naturally scared of these things, right? So Where does all the other fear come from? Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of judgment, fear of conflict, sometimes fear of success. Where do all of these other fears come from? They are learned behaviors. So I'll go back to what I said. We are born strong, we learn to grow weak. We've been learning how to be weak. We have learned how to have fear. We've learned all of these things, which presupposes we can unlearn them if we really, really want to, right? So I just want to raise your awareness around this, guys. There isn't a one size fits all when it comes to elevating your confidence. And you really need to stop listening to all these so-called gurus out there who are giving you all these fancy tips and techniques without you going to the root cause of your self-worth and your certainty before you even attempt to become more confident. I can't possibly help somebody who wants to become a confident speaker on stage, for example, if they won't tap into their certainty of the topic that they're going to talk about. Look, the amount of people that I've trained all over the world to become great public speakers, the best thing that I've ever done for them is help them remember how great they freaking are at the topic that they're speaking on. I've got people who've been doing what they do for 20 plus years. And then they get on stage and the reason for that isn't because they're not knowledgeable. It's because they've forgotten how certain they are to actually talk about their subject. Therefore, their confidence level goes down. The minute I say to them, hey, before you go on stage, tell yourself, I am certain I can help these people. I know my stuff. I know what to say. I do it all day long. I've been doing it for 20 years. Look in the mirror, say, have you forgotten who the hell you are? You are the shit. You are the one. Go and do it. And you know what happens? They get on stage and they freaking smash it. No notes, no scripts, their certainty is through the roof, and guess what's happening? They appear confident. And when they get off stage, they go back and go, what the hell just happened? And then they try and go back to their old, less confident self. But every time they do that, they're just nudging the needle up before they get to the point where they actually remember that I'm actually quite good at this. And that's what I'm trying to say to you, my friends. You were born strong, you've learned to grow weak. Therefore, all these scenarios where you find yourself not very confident is purely because you've lost sight of who you are. You've lost your value. You've lost your self-worth somewhere along the lines, and it's not your fault because somebody's tried to beat it out of you. And I'm here to tell you to reclaim your freaking power because you're amazing and you're beautiful and you're phenomenal just the way you are. Start remembering it and watch your confidence levels go up. Even at work, you know, when people talk you down, put you down, try and make you feel ousted, trying to make you feel like you're wrong, form their little cliques of who's cool and not cool. Who cares? Who cares? The only validation you should be looking for is the person that you're looking at in the freaking mirror. You don't need all these bunch of losers who need other people around them just to feel significant. No, because people should compliment you, they shouldn't complete you. You don't even need a partner to feel confident. No, you should be good on your own before you even go into a relationship. That's like, look, for me, for example, people go, but Jessen, how are you so comfortable talking to the opposite sex? It's simple. I'm good on my own. I'm not out there with this desperate mentality that I want all women to like me. No, I'm good on my own. Therefore, when I speak to women, I come across confident because I'm cool with myself. I'm not worried about whether they like me, don't like me, they're judging me, don't like the look of my hair, I don't care because I'm good on my own. And because I'm good on my own, I will talk confidently to them. And look, there's not just me, there's women out there who are just good with themselves and they'll talk to any man and don't give a damn. And look, what I'm trying to say to you is, if you're good with yourself, if you remember who you are, if you tap into your inner self-worth, start building that certainty around who you are as a person, that you do matter and you do bring value to an equation and you do love yourself and you are great at certain things, then suddenly your confidence will start to rebuild itself. You don't need fancy techniques and freaking, I don't know, hypnosis and all this kind of stuff. Tap into yourself and watch your confidence skyrocket. Okay, now don't go, because before you go, I'd like you to do something. And that's very, very simple. If you want help with becoming more influential and more confident, comment the word confidence down below and I will send you some free resources and reach out to you and give you some help on how you can tap into your inner self-worth and certainty so that you can become more confident. I also want you to do me a favor. The world is plagued with people who are not very confident right now. This channel is dedicated to enhancing people's personal, professional, and financial lives, especially when it comes to your mental health and your mental well-being, because you know I'm a psychiatric nurse and I want to help as many people as I can. So if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button because that helps our channel get a bit more popular. Hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I go live, and make sure that you like this particular video and share it with somebody that you care about. Why? Because all of these things massively, massively help. I don't get paid for any of this. This is free, as you can see. I just want this to reach more people. Will you do that for me? Thank you. I appreciate you so, so much. And look, until next time, I want you to remember that you matter, you're incredible, you're phenomenal. You've just been beaten up along the way somehow. Someone's taken something out of you. And I want to reinstall it back into you because you are incredible just the way you are. And I love you, even if we haven't met before. All right. So until next time, I wish you all the wealth, health, success, and happiness that you truly, truly deserve. My name's Jessen James. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting you here, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Take care.
You've been listening to the Mind Over Money podcast with Jessen James. Don't forget to subscribe and follow on all the channels, links in the show notes. Please also leave a review and visit www.jessenjames.com to find more resources on how to create the life you deserve.